What's up, everybody? So as I'm sure you've all heard by now, Samsung just unveiled their latest S21 lineup. And with this new release, there's a lot of news that came out pertaining to new devices, but there was one news in particular that kind of went under the radar that's actually a pretty big deal. So I wanted to get into that today. So shortly after the Samsung Unpacked event, a Twitter user by Ron Amadio tweeted, "By the way, the Galaxy S21 doesn't have MST. It's not on the spec sheet, and Samsung just confirmed it in an email. Samsung Pay will focus on NFC." So for some of you, you may be wondering, what is MST? So MST stands for Magnetic Secure Transmission, and basically it's just a method that Samsung Pay uses to function as a wireless or contactless payment method. So I'm sure you're all already familiar with different kinds of contactless payment methods that exist, like Google Pay or more importantly Apple Pay. These types of payments use what's called NFC, which I'm sure you're also familiar with. But what Samsung has under its sleeve is it uses NFC and this technology called MST. So in a nutshell, MST lets you use your Samsung phone basically exactly like a credit card. It uses like that magnetic strip that's on your credit card. It allows you to use your phone and kind of mimic that credit card almost as if you're just using a card directly. So what this means is that Samsung Pay is usable at a lot of different stores, merchant, shops, etc. that didn't necessarily have NFC payments or NFC reader set up. So if you're a user of Google Pay or Apple Pay, I'm sure you're familiar with this symbol or logo here that's often shown on debit card readers that lets users know that they can use their phone as a contactless payment method. And you're probably also familiar that if the store didn't have this logo on their debit card readers, then you couldn't use your phone as a payment method at that store. And so here comes the gift of MST. MST allowed Samsung Pay users to use their phone at those debit card readers no matter if they had that NFC symbol or not. Basically, if that store accepts debit or credit cards, they accept Samsung Pay. And so now that we know what MST is and how important it is to the Samsung Pay service, we now can understand why this is a pretty big blow when it comes to losing that service for Samsung. And so Twitter user Ron then goes on to explain Samsung's reasoning for removing the MST service. And the reasoning is it's due to the expansion of the NFC technology that beginning in 2021, all Samsung devices going forward will no longer offer the MST method for their Samsung Pay. And so while this is true for a lot of overseas markets such as the UK in terms of NFC coverage, I must say in the US I think it's definitely not up to par as far as how widespread NFC is available when it comes to stores, shops, restaurants, etc. So if you're in the UK or any other region that has a lot of NFC coverage, this probably won't be a big deal for you. But in terms of the US, it's a pretty big killer because a lot of places still aren't there yet in terms of NFC coverage. And what's even more strange is that when looking at the different spec sheets provided by Samsung, it shows that they're removing this MST technology only in the US region. So they're keeping the MST technology around in different regions like the UK that already have the NFC support already existing. So it seems kind of backward in that regard, because I feel like you want to keep the MST method around in regions where NFC isn't as widespread yet, and you want to remove the MST method in regions where NFC is more readily available. However, one of the reasons I've heard as far as the drawbacks to MST is that it's less secure than NFC. MST is secure, but in terms of the security that NFC provides and making sure that no card credentials or details are stolen, NFC is the better method for that. And I think this is one of the reasons that Samsung has actually already began rolling back their support for MST by removing it from their Galaxy watches earlier last year or so. And now it looks like that removal has arrived to the phone part of their lineup. So yeah, that is how Samsung just secretly overnight killed one of their biggest features that was exclusive to their Samsung lineup. And in just a few days that this news has started to spread around the web, I've already seen a lot of different Samsung users kind of upset about the news as they use this service a lot, day to day, especially in the North America region. And personally for me, this is kind of a big blow for me as well, because I use the MST portion of the Samsung Pay a lot in my day-to-day life. And I can't even count how many times that the MST portion of the Samsung Pay has literally like saved my behind, you know, as I'm out and I don't have my wallet and the shop doesn't accept NFC. You know, that MST portion of the Samsung Pay has saved me in a lot of situations. And if you're a user of Samsung Pay, I know you've probably had the situation where you're at a shop, you're ready to check out and pay, and you whip out your phone and the store clerk is like, oh, sorry, we don't accept Apple Pay. That's what they usually say. And, you know, you put your phone up to the debit reader and the transaction goes through and their mind is just blown, you know. So yeah, I must say it's kind of sad to see this technology going away personally. But do note that it's staying around for existing Samsung devices prior to 2021. So your S20s, your S9s, they'll still work with MST. But the removal of MST only applies to Samsung devices released 2021 and beyond, such as the new S21. And so yeah, with that, what do you guys think? Are you a current Samsung Pay user? If so, what do you think about this news? Are you going to hang on to your older Samsung devices so you can continue to use MST? Or have shops in your area fully converted over to NFC debit card readers and this isn't as much of an issue for you? Let me know in the comments below because I'm curious to really know how many people will be affected by this. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe because I actually plan on picking up the S21 Ultra and I'll be covering that in a lot of future videos as well. But for now, that'll do it for this one. Thanks for stopping by. Take it easy.